Alright, what's up guys? So I'm going to teach you how to do your macros out today. I promised you I was going to teach you, and I want to help you guys so that you can reach the goals that you want, that you work so hard in the gym for. So what I've done is I wrote down how I figure out calories for each individual. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy, but all you need to know is what your goal is. So when we're figuring out calories, all we're going to do is take our body weight. So in my example, I use 200 pounds just because that's what I'm really close to. So body weight times 14 or 16, and this number just depends on what your goal is. So I took 200 times 14, which is 2,800. I also took 200 times 16, which was 3,200. And those numbers are going to put us in either a deficit, which is the 2,800, or a surplus, which is 3,200. And all those mean is either you're going to gain weight or you're going to lose weight. And then right in between there, we have our maintenance number. So that's going to be about 3,000 for this example, obviously. Okay guys, so now that we've got our calories figured out, we're going to focus on our macros and how we figure those out. So the first one that we're going to figure out is protein right here. And all I did was I took the same example. You're going to take your body weight times 0.8 to 1.3. And the reason that there's this range from 0.8 to 1.3 is because it depends on the individual. If the person that's starting their diet is a little bit higher in terms of their body fat ratio, so let's say they're 30% body fat, then they're going to want to be slightly lower in protein. And the leaner that you get, the more protein that you're going to want to incorporate into your diet so that you can continue to lose weight and you continue to diet and make sure that you're still seeing the results that you want. So for my example, this is, like I said again, really close to me. 200 pounds times 1 is obviously going to be 200 grams of protein. So there's my first macro. I know what my protein is. Now we're going to move on to our second macro, which is fat. And all you're going to do for that is, once again, take your body weight and you're going to multiply it by 0.3 all the way up to 0.4. Hopefully this makes sense because those aren't like minus. It's just all the way up to. So once again, just a little bit of a range. I definitely wouldn't suggest going anything below 0.3 in terms of that multiplied by your body weight, because you obviously need fat to function. You need it for your skin, your hair, your nails, and just to feel good in general. So my example, I did 200 times 0.32 because that's a really good number for me, and I can eat just enough fat but not have to go over throughout my day. If you like to have lots of, cashews, peanuts, different types of fatty foods like cheese, sometimes red meats will have a little bit more fat in it. So think about that when you're trying to set this up. You would want to go closer to 0.4 so you can have slightly more fat in your diet. So there's our second macro. 200 times 0.32 is 65 grams of fat, and that one's done. Okay guys, so now we figured out our proteins and our fats, and something that I want to teach you really quickly, just because it's relevant in terms of figuring out your macros especially, is that each one of our macros has a certain amount of calories per gram, and that's what you're going to be counting your macros in, is grams. So if we're doing the calories per gram in terms of protein and carbs, it's going to be 4 right here. So per gram, there's 4 calories in each one of those. And then when you get to fat, it's 9. Obviously that doesn't look like a 9, but the fat in terms of grams compared to calories is 9 calories per gram. So that's relevant in figuring out our carbs. So this is our last macro that we have to figure out. And all we're going to do is to figure out our carbs is we're going to take our protein number that we already figured out in grams. So 200 grams times 4 calories, and that's going to equal 800 calories. We do the same thing for our fat, which is 65 grams times 9, which is 585 calories. So now all we're going to do is take our calorie number. So once again, I said 3,000 was our maintenance. And when we're doing a deficit, which is what I'm doing right now, which is a cut, you want to go about 500 below that. You could cut it slightly less and have a little bit more to eat during the day, but you're not going to lose quite as fast. So you can adjust that as you go and see how you like it. For this example, I'm just going to do 2,500 as a deficit because that's extremely close, once again, to my macros and my calories. So all I did was I took 800 plus 585. I got 1,385. And then our total number of calories is 2,500. I subtracted 1,385 from that to get the number of calories that our carbs were going to make up. Once I got that number, which is 1,115, I took that and I divided it by 4 because that's how many calories are in each gram of the carbs that we're going to be eating. And that number came out to 278.75. So in other words, I was just rounding that up to 279. So that's going to give us our totals for all of our macros. Protein 200, carbs 279, and fat is 65. And obviously when you add all those up, it's going to be 2,500 in terms of your calories. But when you're counting your macros, just focus on counting your macros. Make sure you get your protein, carbs, and fats. Hit them as close as you possibly can, and you'll be good to go. So I hope this helped you guys, and hope that you learned a little bit from it, and you guys can apply this so that all of that hard work that you're putting in at the gym and sweating your ass off and putting all that time in, when you combine this with it, you guys are going to see phenomenal results, and I think you'll be really, really excited. So thank you so much for watching, and remember, make moves, make excuses.